A kitchen table in a 1950s terraced house. Hair wound in strips of torn bedsheet. A hand mirror propped against the teapot. She's getting ready for the week the only way she knows, with tricks her mother taught her. We're counting down 8 hair care methods British women relied on before 1960. None disproven, all quietly buried under branded bottles. We start with the cheapest, sitting right there in the larder. In the 8th place, the vinegar rinse stands as the simplest solution, drawn straight from the kitchen shelf. In 1950s Britain, soap-based shampoos like Sunsilk and Vocine promised clean hair, but often left behind a dull, chalky residue, especially in hard water towns where minerals clung stubbornly to every strand. The answer was a splash of diluted malt vinegar, or cider vinegar if you had a bit more to spend, poured over the hair as a final rinse. The sharp scent faded as the hair dried, replaced by a visible shine that felt almost miraculous after the heaviness of soap. This was a trick passed quietly from mother to daughter, a pantry fix that cost pennies and worked reliably until Tame Cream Rinse arrived on chemist shelves, selling the same shine in a bottle. The vinegar rinse wasn't disproven, it was simply out-marketed, a casualty of changing times and the promise of modern convenience. Number 7. The egg yolk and olive oil treatment reached deeper than any quick shine trick, answering the problem of brittle winter hair in a way that felt both resourceful and oddly luxurious. When heated rollers and strong soaps left hair dry and tired, women would beat together 2 egg yolks with a spoonful of olive oil, working the mixture just into the parched ends. The ritual called for a warm towel wrapped around the head, trapping the gentle heat, while the mask worked for 20 minutes, long enough to tidy the kitchen or iron a shirt. This was not a full shampoo substitute, but a targeted rescue, rich in proteins and fats that echoed the logic of salon protein treatments decades later. In a world before bottled conditioners, it was a quiet act of self-repair, passed down in magazine columns and family kitchens, and remembered for the way it left hair softer, stronger, and a little bit glossier against the cold. Number 6. The sugar water setting lotion marked a quiet revolution in the ordinary British dressing room. A few teaspoons of white sugar dissolved in freshly boiled water, left to cool on the windowsill, became a homemade elixir for setting curls. Women would dab the sticky liquid onto damp hair before winding it into pin curls or rollers, feeling the faint tackiness on their fingertips. As the hair dried, the sugar disappeared, leaving behind a light, flexible hold, no crunch, no visible residue, just a memory of the kitchen transformed into a beauty parlor. The recipe traced its roots to Victorian Bandoline, when gum arabic or even quince seeds were boiled up for the same purpose. By the mid-1950s, though, the sugar water trick was beginning to look old-fashioned beside the glossy bottles of Amami and other commercial set lotions that promised modernity in a scent and a label. Yet for a generation, this was the bridge between thrift and glamour, a domestic chemistry set passed from mother to daughter, quietly effective until the market decided otherwise. Number 5. The flat beer rinse captures the spirit of improvisation that ran through 1950s British salons and kitchens alike. When setting lotion ran out, a working hairdresser might reach for what was left in the bottom of a pint. Flat English ale, not the fizzy lager that came later, was remembered for its uncanny ability to hold a curl. The secret lay in its barley and yeast proteins, along with a dose of B vitamins, which clung to each hair strand and gave it a subtle body and grip. There was a faint yeasty aroma at first, but as the hair dried, the smell faded, leaving only a memory of the pub and a surprisingly resilient set. This wasn't a trick you'd find in glossy magazine adverts or chemist windows. It travelled by word of mouth from stylist to client, from mother to daughter. The flat beer rinse stands as a quiet testament to the resourcefulness of women who made do with what they had, weaving everyday ingredients into the fabric of their beauty routines. Number 4. The Twink Home Perm marks the moment when British hair care crossed the threshold from kitchen ingenuity to branded convenience. In the mid-1950s, Elida of Kingston upon Thames brought Twink into the spotlight, with television adverts urging women to give yourself a Twink home perm. For the first time, the complicated process of wave setting could be attempted at the kitchen table, promising salon-style curls at a fraction of the cost. The kit's strong chemical scent became as much a part of the ritual as the promise of soft, silken curls, and the distinctive cream-coloured bottle soon found a place on dressing tables across the country. By the 1960s, a Twink kit was remembered at around 37 pence, affordable, accessible, and suddenly everywhere. Twink's cultural afterlife lingers in a skiffle-era anecdote. A young musician, spotting the bottle on his mother's dresser, took the name Twink and carried it through a career in British psychedelia. The home perm didn't just replace a trick, it became a household name, a symbol of how mass-market products could gently sweep away the quiet rituals of domestic expertise. Coming to the top 3, Friday night is Amami night stands as more than a product. It's a rhythm that once set the pace for the entire week. Amami's wave set lotion, with its unmistakable jingle, turned the act of washing and setting hair into a communal ritual. For many, Friday evening meant mixing the powder with water, working up the lather, and carefully setting curls in preparation for Sunday chapel, a Saturday dance, or simply to be seen out with friends. The anticipation shaped not just the weekend, but the working days leading up to it, a small promise of glamour at the end of a long week. The jingle itself became part of the national soundscape, echoing from radios and shop windows, outliving the routine it advertised. By the 1970s, the rise of daily blow-drying and quick salon visits began to erode the tradition. But for a generation, Friday night was more than just a wash. It was a shared moment of care, pride, and readiness for whatever the weekend might bring. Number 2, the weekly shampoo and set was more than a beauty routine. It was a cornerstone of mid-century British life. In a world before daily washing, women carved out a regular hour at the salon, surrendering their hair to the expert hands of a stylist. The process began with a careful wash, followed by a generous sweep of setting lotion, then hair wound onto hard plastic rollers. Under the gentle roar of a metal hood dryer, women flicked through magazines or exchanged stories, the ritual providing a rare pause from household duties and family demands. The set itself was designed to last. Between visits, those same rollers might be worn overnight, secured beneath a tight headscarf for a quick trip to the shops, because to be seen in public with rollers was to risk a quiet judgment. This weekly appointment was more than a quest for shine or curl. It was a social anchor, a space of camaraderie and quiet dignity, before the era of quick, cut-focused salons and the rise of daily shampoo. For many, it was the only truly private hour in a week, otherwise given over to others. And finally, in first place, the 100-stroke brush ritual endures as the most intimate and quietly powerful of all the vanished hair tricks. Each night, a natural bristle brush was drawn from root to tip, 100 times. In a ritual that owed more to family teaching than to any advertising campaign. The practice traces its roots to Victorian beauty manuals, but by the 1950s, it had become a nightly ceremony passed down from mother to daughter, a quiet moment of care when the house was finally still. The logic was simple. Repeated brushing coaxed the scalp's natural oils down the length of each strand, turning sebum into shine and leaving hair softer without the need for bottled serums or conditioners. Modern trichologists still echo the wisdom behind this habit. Even if they agree the exact number is arbitrary, the act itself matters more than the count. For many, the ritual ended with a silk headscarf tied over carefully arranged hair, or a simple cotton square in less affluent homes, both meant to protect the shine until morning. The arrival of plastic brushes, leave-in treatments, and the modern cult of speed recast the 100-stroke routine as superstition, but its quiet discipline and tactile comfort linger in memory. More than a beauty tip, it was a daily assertion of agency, a small private act that stitched a thread of continuity through generations of British women, long after the world outside had changed. Across all 8 rituals, one truth stands out. These vanished hair tricks were acts of quiet skill, not superstition. They vanished not because they failed, but because convenience replaced intimacy and knowledge. What have we lost along with the routines? Share your family's secrets or surprises below.